Hey everybody, it's Armando at the Hyper Pup. So what we're going to do right now is kind of introduce you to a dog who is a little pulling on the leash, slightly distracted, but we're going to take her from pully and distracted to more focused and more attentive using just a simple leash and the prong collar. Simple intro. All right, so this is 3-year-old Sunny. Sunny came in yesterday for a board and train. Very sweet girl. She doesn't have anything along the lines of serious behavioral issues, but she's a bit of a puller, as you can see. I wouldn't even say that she's highly distracted because there's really nothing going on around here. This is just an empty parking lot. People come in here to do all sorts of who knows what shady stuff. And then we've got a space back here where the city or the town does bus tests, performs bus tests for the bus drivers. But imagine if you took her somewhere else, maybe a park setting, downtown somewhere, and she's really distracted. That's when you're gonna see the pulling in full force. And here's the thing with some pulley dogs. They'll pull forever, they don't care. I've seen dogs kind of almost choke themselves out. I have seen dogs vomit from the pulling because they don't care. It will hurt and impact their trachea, and they will just like kind of pull and pull and pull until again they kind of have to spit it out. So what we're looking to do here is create some attentiveness, some attention, some focus on us. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to put a prong collar on her, a Herm Springer, probably a 2.25. I could go with a 3.0, but I probably won't. And then we're going to condition it for her, which is a 2-step process. We're going to condition the collar to her. In other words, we're going to make her kind of more comfortable, more understanding of how to turn on the pressure, not how to turn on the pressure, but how to give into the pressure and how to turn off the pressure. Once we start doing that, we should start seeing significant improvement. And if necessary, then we'll move things up. We'll ramp it up. We'll escalate it a little bit. We'll start giving her a little added pressure, make sure that she is more in line with what we want her to be. All right, so we've got the prong collar on her, and one of the first things that we want to start doing is I'm going to start giving her a little bit of pressure. This is very, very light conditioning. I like to really go the least minimally invasive way instead of just immediately cranking her into a correction. We will get there if necessary. It may not be. But we'll see. We'll play it out. Every dog is different, so you don't need to kind of go hardcore immediately with each individual dog, no matter what you see on YouTube. You can start off easy, gradually, see how your dog responds to that. Take your dog's feedback and then move and bounce off of that. So I'm going to give her some pressure. You see she's kind of resisting here, and I'm going to keep that tension going until she gives in. Good. Now you can reward with food if you had any, or you can praise. Little pressure. Good. There we go, a little pressure. Good. We actually want her to be a little distracted right now. Here, we're going to stop, a little pressure. Yes. You see there's no correction there. There's no pop as of yet. I want her to understand pressure right there. Boom. I don't want her to fight it. I want her to kind of learn to give into it. And that when she gives into it, the pressure comes off. Pressure? Yes. Pressure? Very good. And I'm standing in one position with the dog, but you can easily just, especially if you have a large field like this, just walk around with the dog. Pressure. Yeah, so you got that tension on the leash, but when she releases that tension, you can roll her in and praise. Let's take a little stroll. Now I'm going to switch things up. Now I'm going to go to what I would do as a phase 2 exercise. I'm going to find a straight path and I'm going to go back and forth with her. I'm going to give her the opportunity to get distracted. And if she does, I'm going to move and I'm going to start to increase the little pressure and correction that I'm going to give her. When she moves ahead of me, that's when I'm going to make an about face. Now notice where I place my leash. I got my thumb through the loop here. I don't want to wrap this thing up like this. I've got my thumb through the loop and this is my center of power, so to speak. Now I'll pick up the pace in anticipation that the dog is going to do the same. But look what she's doing. She's more focused. She's like, I better stay with this clown because he's moving all over the place, and I want to know what his next move is going to be. Here we go. Look at this. This is different than when she started just a few minutes ago. Again. And these are mild corrections. Like if you're going to do this from a scale of 1 to 10, this is maybe a 2 or a 3. Here we go again. Look at that. You notice how she turned with me? Look at this. Yes. Yes. Good baby. Good baby. A little more focus. Watch. See? Much more focus. This is excellent. This by no means, guys, does this tell you that she's really like done. Training is all set. She knows how to walk now perfectly. Absolutely not. You'll still need to do some more work with her, especially as you begin to add and compound the distractions. But you can see how just a slight introduction to a prong collar, conditioning it properly, and giving her pressure when necessary with a simple little two-step process, the conditioning and then the corrective phase, the dog starts to become more attentive, more focused. Whereas in the past, like her mind was somewhere else. Let's see if we can take a little stroll with her. See if we can continue this momentum. Look at this light leash. Look at this. Couldn't do this before because this girl would just dash off. What was that? What was that, Raina? 3 minutes? 2 minutes? 4 minutes?
When? Now?
Yeah.
6 minutes. We're at 6 right now.
Look at this. Look at this. Again, not perfect, right? She's ahead of me. But I'm not looking for any specific position. I'm not looking for alignment. I don't care if she's left or right, slightly in front of me or behind me. I don't care. I want a loose leash. That is my priority. That is it. That's what I want to teach her. Don't pull me or it's going to be a little unpleasant for you. Later on, I can work on positioning if that's my thing. It may not be. I may not need to have a dog position left or right. Who cares? If I want to, though, I can work on that later on. Look at this. So now I'm going to turn. And again, these are light corrections. We're not going to a 10 here. We're not doing anything over the top. The dog isn't yelping. The dog isn't dying. So if you're telling yourself, oh, I want to do that, my dog's pulling like crazy, but I don't really want to use a prong collar. Listen, this is what I'm going to tell you. If your dog is pulling along the lines of what I've described just a moment ago, if your dog is choking itself, maybe even spitting on the curb because of all that choking, I'm going to tell you, over a lifetime, over prolonged exposure to this kind of like behavior, it's going to affect your dog's neck, your dog's trachea, in a negative way, and in a manner that the prong collar will not affect. The prong collar will distribute that pressure evenly throughout the dog's neck if fitted properly. A regular collar won't. A martingale might. But if you use a martingale, which you can, you may get some results. Again, it's really dependent on your technique and on your dog. So two major variables that are going to have a tremendous influence on the outcome. But if your martingale collar, which hopefully is fitted properly, does not work, then don't hesitate to move on to a prong. Let's do this a little more. I'm actually setting her up right now. I'm setting her up for failure. But I'll tell you, I'll take this any day over what the pulling that she had, especially when she came in yesterday. There we go. There we go. Yes, baby. Look at your sweetheart. This is not something, guys, that it should take you days or weeks. If it's taking you days or weeks, you go find somebody who can help you, because something's off. More than likely your technique. You're not consistent. You're maybe too soft. And by too soft, meaning that you are giving the correction in a manner that really isn't meaningful to the dog. It's not really a correction. And that, again, could be an issue of technique. That could be an issue of your emotions. You're just being a little too soft with the dog. It bothers you to give this dog correction. Here we go. Boom. Now I can begin to shorten the leash because I want the dog at a closer distance. See, good. Give your dog plenty of praise. And I think this is good for her for now. We don't need to drag this out. You can have a very productive and meaningful 5-minute session with the dog, where the dog now starts to understand the concept. And the concept is, pulling on the leash does not work for me, so I'm not going to do it anymore. And you want to understand this at a very simplest level. If your dog is dragging you down the street, you put that dog on a leash and it dashes out for whatever reason, you have to understand that as far as the dog's mind is concerned, that is reinforcing to the dog. It's validating. It is rewarding. You're thinking, how is my dog being rewarded by choking himself out? He is. The dog is being rewarded and reinforced in a variety of different ways. One is, I want to go over there. And the dog goes over there, no matter how uncomfortable the process is of getting from A to B and dragging your behind there. It is rewarding. Boom, I got there. And anything in dogs that is rewarding is likely to continue. Same with humans, right? So what you're taking is, you are reversing that reward system, and now you are making it into a negative consequence. Now pulling becomes negative for the dog. And when you do that right, when you do that consistently, when you follow through, when the dog gets the concept, the chances of that behavior persisting start to die down. So let's see you put this into effect. Again, this should not take you very long. Fit that prong collar on your dog, get the right size, go out into an open space. Don't make it incredibly difficult for yourself by taking your dog into a very busy, crowded space, especially if you know your dog is prone to any kind of distraction in the environment. Make it a little easier for yourself. Low distractions. Work with your dog with 5 minutes. Put it on the clock. 5 minutes, just back and forth. Condition for a few minutes, 2 minutes, and then boom, get down to work. And if you don't see some kind of significant improvement in the dog, I'm not saying it's completely solved, but if you don't see some significant improvement, then you're doing it wrong. Come back and watch the video. All right, good luck to you.